Yeah, Steve, staff here say they have nothing to add today, and now one parent is calling the response, quote, lackluster. We did hear from the superintendent yesterday, who says he's horrified and ashamed by this incident, but some families are asking staff to do more. The Newberg School District says a staff member is under investigation after coming to work in blackface on Friday. They tell us termination is one possible outcome of the current administrative leave. That response is frustrating some families.
Putting this educator on leave sends the wrong message. This educator should have been terminated immediately. There should be a zero tolerance policy. There, in my opinion, is no investigation needed.
Tai Harden-Moore's daughter attends Newberg High School. She's not worried about the safety of her family when dropping her child off each day.
Will it be a good day? Or will it be a day where someone says something racist to her, where someone does something cruel to her? And that's a fear that not only I feel, but all the families of color feel, and families who have marginalized students in any way.
One city councilor says this is a moment of reckoning for Newberg. She tells us one of the goals of the city is supporting a diverse, equitable, and inclusive community.
What action would you consider moving forward given where Newberg stands right now?
It's tricky with local elected officials. We have no jurisdiction over the Newberg School Board. We've written a letter to the Newberg School Board and signed that letter. A number of us did.
The school board will meet tomorrow night to discuss multiple issues, including the current ban on political signs and flags, changes to the anti-racism resolution, mask mandates, and staff vaccinations.
Steve, defiantly, he is not apologizing. He says the post did not compare the mandates to the Holocaust, just similarities of what he calls, quote, an attack on civil liberties. His colleagues say evoking the Holocaust when complaining about mandates is insensitive. This comes months after commissioners stripped Scholl of most of his duties over racist and Islamophobic comments and posts on Facebook before he was elected. He says this is all being blown out of proportion. However, Chair Tootie Smith says she spent a significant portion of her week talking to people hurt and offended by Scholl's post. Smith and the three commissioners condemned the post in a statement. They also recognized the pain it elicits in Jewish people. Scholl's colleagues say there are better ways to criticize the mandate than by bringing up the Holocaust. Take a listen.
I think the motives for our vaccine mandate, which are temporary, and if that infringement upon our civil liberties, which is temporary, for the purpose of beating a vaccine, are quite unique than something that was perhaps driven more about a supremacy or a hatred for another religion or race.
Your speech has hurt us collectively as a community. And that is the kind of recognition, that is the hard work, that is where we develop empathy and understanding, and in that is where we bridge this divide that is in our community.
Coincidentally, right before that, Clackamas County Commissioners were debating a resolution encouraging Governor Brown to rescind her vaccine mandate or extend the deadline to be vaccinated. Chair Smith wants the governor's mandate to recognize natural immunity or allow for a testing option to bypass vaccinations. They will debate that resolution again on Thursday.
Yeah, Steve, with many of those likely ending up right here in Portland. Right now, local resettlement organizations are preparing, and so are some major companies, including UPS. It is one of dozens of companies that just today pledged their commitment to helping refugees start their new lives here.
Over the next several months, tens of thousands of Afghan refugees who fled their home country following the U.S.'s departure will make a new home in the U.S.
Is Oregon ready to handle this influx?
Oregon receives about 2% of the refugee resettlement programs, every year. So I think with that in mind, our hope is that the state will be welcoming state.
Local politicians like Senator Casey Jama and resettlement organizations, including the Immigrant and Refugee Community Organization, or IRCO, are working together to prepare for the refugees' arrival. Right now, most of the refugees are getting vetted and processed at military bases. Once cleared to come to Oregon,
we will also help them with getting Social Security as well as Oregon ID and all those. We will also help their children, to enroll in a different school in the neighborhood.
Additionally, these organizations assist with housing and employment, and it's looking like jobs should be plentiful. On Tuesday, dozens of companies across the U.S. joined the Tent Coalition for Afghan Refugees, stepping up to train and hire. Some of those include Facebook, Tyson Meats, Pfizer, and the Northwest's Amazon. According to Tent's website, the coalition, quote, will empower Afghans beginning a new life in America and will support the government's economic and social integration goals.
Now, I also know Airbnb is hoping to house 20,000 of these Afghan refugees. Well, there's a lot happening on the national scale. I'm also looking locally to see if any companies here are planning to help those refugees find new jobs. I'll let you know what I find.
Okay. I'm a number 2 if you take an Enneagram test. So I'm a helper. I'm a people pleaser. And I love helping people.
If you live anywhere in North Portland, you might know Terrence Moses.
I know in my deepest heart of hearts that this is the right thing to do.
Maybe not by name, but by reputation.
Are you doing okay today?
No, how are you?
I'm doing okay. Do you need some trash bags?
He's the retired veteran who picks up trash at homeless camps, showing compassion to everyone, no matter where or how they live.
No, we won't judge you, ma'am. I'm here to help you.
City leaders know Terrence, too.
Friday night, I got a text from Sam saying, hey, Terrence, hope you're well. Hope all is going good. I got a big favor to ask.
To clean up around that area.
It was Sam Adams, Mayor Ted Wheeler's director of strategic innovations. He was asking Terrence to help him clean up near Delta Park because the Grand Prix of Portland was happening and someone had dumped another pile of garbage near the event.
I mean, I was going to be in the area anyway, and it's just not my nature to ignore it or say no. So of course I said, yeah, I'll meet you there.
Sam Adams showed up the next morning and they cleaned, not just near PIR. They also picked up trash off I-5 along Killingsworth. Terrence thanked Adams when he posted these photos on his nonprofit's Facebook page. But the experience left him scratching his head.
That was a call of desperation. But that also tells me that big businesses tell the city when to move.
Terrence says he didn't need a text about trash from Sam Adams to know a big event was coming to town. He knew when he saw the sweeps. The city's own homelessness toolkit shows 3 different camps around Portland International Raceway were removed in the weeks leading up to the event, and 2 camps were posted for removal.
Because if PIR was here, they cleaned up this whole area really quickly in a matter of weeks, only to move them 300 yards away.
There is no question Portland has a PR problem. Columbia Edgewater was supposed to be tearing down today after another Portland Classic golf tournament, but the LPGA moved it out of Portland to West Lynn, citing safety concerns near the country club. So, is the city shuffling homeless people around and picking up more trash in certain areas to clean up its image? We went straight to the politician who picks up the garbage himself. Sam Adams was unavailable for an on-camera interview, but he told us the city does prioritize encampments surrounding major sporting events, like the Portland Grand Prix or the Blazers' first playoff game at home, but only if those camps already meet the criteria for removal. He said the city does the same thing around schools. And what about going out with Terrence? Are resources stretched so thin that Adams needs to personally text him to get something cleaned up when guests are in town? He says no, this wasn't a Hail Mary, it's just what he does. Adams acknowledged there's a lot more work to do in Portland and the city needs a lot of help. He told us he understands people are frustrated and that it's never fast enough.
I feel like this is never going to end.
Terrence Moses has watched the problem worsen for 5 years now.
We're not finding places for houseless folks to go.
He sees it up close every single day, 50 hours a week, and it breaks his heart. So he keeps driving.
I just can't sit back and just see people struggle so hard and live in such squalid conditions and not even try to lend a hand.
Chipping away at a crisis that now seems insurmountable.
I wish I didn't even have to be in business. I wish that this was not even a thing. But for as long as I can do it, I will continue to do it.